Hello, everyone. You're most welcome to this learning space. This is our national education cycle. And ideally, this is to help you really understand what this organization is all about and what we do at the end of the day. I understand as a member, as a new member or old member, you've just come back from the National Onboarding Conference and we had a wonderful time together. However, at the end of the day, you need to be able to even understand the organization much deeper. So that speaks to the relevance of this national education cycle, which is here and is intended to help you understand this organization in a more in-depth aspect. So I hope that as you watch all the videos, all the subsequent videos that are coming after this, you'll be able to enjoy and have and learn one or two new things about this organization. So come along with me as we explore and dive more. So we will start with the most basic question of what is AIESEC? Now, AIESEC at the start of this organization, when it was started out after the Second World War in 1949, AIESEC was an acronym, and it was in a French acronym. And in this French acronym, it mainly prioritized science and commerce students and the like. However, over time, the AIESEC, because now it's for all the youth, regardless of the background, AIESEC is no longer a word that is an acronym. It's just a word. And there are people that usually mispronounce it and as AIESEC or AIESEC or something of the sort. However, it's just pronounced as AIESEC. So basically, who or what is AIESEC? AIESEC is basically a global, independent, non-partisan, not-for-profit youth-run organization. And the description to that is on the right-hand side of the screen. You'll be able to read through this and get a deeper understanding of what AIESEC does. So moving on, I'd like to show us a very short video that is going to help us explain exactly this and also just give us a bit of a roundup of what we do as an organization. Then we shall dive deeper. Enjoy.
Every generation gets the chance to shape the world. But the challenges faced today are becoming more complex with the pace of economic, social, and technological change. The world is defined by the people who live in it. So we believe the solution is to develop responsible, entrepreneurial, and skilled young leaders today who will make a positive impact for our future. Since 1948, we've been providing young people with practical leadership experiences across the world, where they have the freedom to fail and the chance to overcome challenges they face. A space where they can discover what really matters to them and realize their potential for the future. We give young people a chance to see the world, because if you can see it, then you can start to understand it. And if you understand it, then you can start to change it. For over 70 years, we've provided more than 1 million young people with life-changing opportunities together with like-minded organizations. But we can't stop now, because only when we create more of these leadership stories together will we truly see a remarkable impact on the world. History has shown us what just one great leader can do. So imagine what a billion great leaders could do. This is why we do what we do for youth.
Indeed, imagine what a billion young leaders can do. And you're part of that billion young leaders that have a lot that you can do on this planet and in this world through AIESEC, since you've joined the organization. So welcome to what we call the AIESEC way. And the AIESEC way is going to give us a more deeper understanding of what AIESEC is all about through the what, the who, the how, and the why. All right. So we are going to dive right in. So to start off, why this organization does exist. Now, as I already earlier said, is that everything and how AIESEC started, it started after the Second World War. And here, a group of young people determined that cross-cultural understanding was essential to prevent similar conflicts and to foster peace in the world. Now, the Second World War had just happened. Before the Second World War, a First World War had also occurred. How sure are we that we wouldn't experience the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and maybe the seventh, and countless wars thereafter? So for them, they determined that their way or contribution towards world peace was through cross-cultural understanding. And in this, they believed that if young people got to experience each other, cultures and each other's backgrounds, then at the end of the day, they would understand themselves better and also be more tolerant about each other. Now, more history or more understanding about how it all started about is on the right hand corner of the screen. However, just to highlight is that most these young people that came together were mostly from European countries, understandably, because this is where actually the war was taking place, and most of the European countries were directly involved in this particular aggression. So, of course, they determined at the time that peace was essential. And now, at the time, peace meant that it was all about absence of war. However, with time, the meaning of peace has also evolved to speak to our current generation. Right now, we do not have war as much, though we recognize that there are some countries that are actually at war. However, now we understand peace in terms of we as individuals, in terms of how we at the end of the day understand ourselves and appreciate our contribution and our different abilities at the end of the day. So by understanding that, then at the end of the day, we can also be at peace with one another. Moving on, having told you about that background of how this organization started, then it speaks to our vision, or it speaks to our why. And our why is very basic. We strive to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. So at the end of the day, we want to see that every young person that is in this organization, or every young person that we're able to reach out to, can be able to work towards their own understanding of peace and take collaborative action towards fostering a better world. So our big vision, or our big why, is to strive to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. Again, in the slides that will be provided, take initiative to read more about what that means through the text that we have provided on the side. Now, having talked about our why and how we came to become the organization that we are, these are the kind of young people that we work with, or these are the categories of people that we work with. And that question or that answer is found in what we call the who. So who do we engage? At the end of the day, we engage and develop youth to create a better future for themselves, their communities, and therefore the world around them. So it starts with you, and then it transfers to the people around you. And before you know it, it's a ripple effect to the world. Okay. So at the end of the day, these youth are classified or are defined as young people between the ages of 18 to 30. And these young people between the ages of 18 to 30 are usually current students or recent university graduates. So moving on again, you will be able to read through this on a more extensive basis through the text that we have provided. So carrying forward, you may ask yourself, okay, we have looked at the why, the who, but at the end of the day, how do we actually do it? For us, we believe that leadership is the fundamental solution, and it can be developed in anyone, anywhere. At the end of the day, we believe that if we are to be able to achieve that peace and fulfillment, then at the end of it all, we need to be able to lead ourselves to that. And in being able to lead ourselves to that, then we believe in leadership as being the fundamental solution. Imagine the leaders that were existing back in 1945 when the World War started. Imagine if these leaders were in a much better place and were more, aware of the effects that the World War could cause. Or imagine actually the leaders that we have currently in this day and era are able to make proper decisions for the countries, for the citizens that they actually that are actually in these countries. If at all we have such capable leaders and leaders that can actually make proper informed decisions for the citizens within the respective countries, then we have better chance of experiencing a better world for ourselves. So for us, we really fundamentally believe in leadership, and we do believe that it can be developed in anyone, anywhere. So we, at the end of the day, empower then young people to become value-driven leaders. So you can see that it's not just about leadership, but it's also about developing value-driven leaders who, at the end of the day, positively impact the world around them, positively. And that's a bit of emphasis. So at the end of it all, we don't want to just see young people. We don't want to just see leaders that have positions and have names and titles on them, but we want to see leaders that actually have values that they hold dear to them and values that inform the kind of decisions that they make at the end of the day. So that's how we do what we do. Now, extensively to explain how we exactly do that, when a young person joins AIESEC, we take them through what we call the leadership development model. And under this leadership development model, this is where an individual goes through two spheres of their journey. One is what we call the outer journey, and then two is what we call the inner journey. So someone joins the organization, they are given responsibilities, goals, they're put in a challenging environment, they have an interaction with different stakeholders, then they're also given a support system. Now, through this outer journey, at the end of the day, it's everything else that is working outside this individual to support their leadership journey at the end of it all. Then automatically, they're able to go through what they call the inner journey. And the inner journey is what they experience within themselves. And what they experience within themselves is able to transform them into the leaders that we desire to have. So at the end of the day, an individual is able to set their personal goals, reflect on their experience, understand their personal values, and also reinvent themselves. But as all that is happening, we have what we call the leads. And the leads are basically catalyzers to quicken this process. So catalyzers are like different conversations, discussions that enable us to help this individual, help this person to go through this leadership development model smoothly. Again, you'll be able to read about that more in the text provided. Now, remember we talked about the value-driven leaders. So we've said that we believe in leadership. And after believing in leadership, an AIESEC joins the organization, then they go through the leadership development cycle or model. Now, at the end of the day, the result and the outcome of that is what we call the values, the AIESEC values. And for us, we have 6 values that we center or anchor our leadership on. And at the end of the day, our belief is that actually an individual turns out with some of these values. And I'll take them through as quickly. So very quickly, we have what we call enjoying participation. This is where everyone actually comes in and they are able to demonstrate enthusiasm and be proud of who they are, but most importantly, take part of initiatives and dare to take part in activities that can actually enhance their leadership potential. The other one is what we call striving for excellence. And here it's basically making sure that as an individual, you appreciate the value of continuous learning, but most importantly, you continuously improve through creativity and innovation, and also making sure that at the end of the day, you have the highest quality and you deliver the highest quality of work and the highest quality of highest quality of work and the highest quality of tasks that are handed down to you. The other value that we also have is what we call demonstrating integrity. This looks at always being authentic and doing what is right and saying the truth at all times and maintaining transparency in the kind of work we do. So at the end of it all, it helps us all understand and appreciate this kind of understand and work with an individual who, is always transparent in the kind of decisions and actions that they take. So moving on, the other values that we also have is living diversity. And living diversity is mainly capitalizing on each other's differences and knowing that we are all not the same, but we have unique talents and abilities that can contribute to something within ourselves and within the world. Another one is what we call acting sustainably, making sure that the resources that are placed into our hands are actually sustainable and they can live to see the future. Most importantly, making long-term decisions, not just for ourselves, but for the people that will come before us, and managing all the resources that we have sustainably. And lastly, we have activating leadership. Here, it's in terms of inspiring others to actually take on leadership positions, leadership roles, or to actually take on projects and activities at the end of the day. And then also practicing empathy at the end of it all, and making sure that at the end of the day, you as a person, you're able to influence the people that you're working with. So having said that, we have looked at the kind of values that we develop within young people, because at the end of the day, again, we believe that leadership is a fundamental solution and it can be developed in anyone, anywhere. Now, what do we actually do? So what we do is we basically enable young people. So at the end of it all, these are the things that we do on a practical day-to-day basis to help us actually develop these leaders. So we enable young people to develop their leadership through learning from practical experiences in challenging environments. So we provide a practical environment or a platform for young people to be able to go through this cycle. However, this practical learning is in challenging environments. Also noting that these opportunities are provided through what we call cross-cultural understanding. And this cross-cultural understanding is done in collaboration with like-minded partners. So we want to make sure that at the end of the day, we're able to facilitate our leadership development, our leadership understanding through cross-cultural experiences and understanding. And we create these experiences for ourselves. You will see in the subsequent videos as we explain. So these practical experiences, they do vary. And these practical experiences are already what you are part of as an individual or what you're part of in the different departments, again, which will be explained to you further. So these practical experiences are through our different programs that we run with our young people around the world. The first one is what we call the Global Volunteer. And here, you're able to develop your leadership through volunteering on a project to contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals. We also have what we call the Global Talent. And here you're able to boost your career, you're able to develop your leadership while boosting your career prospects through an international internship. Then we have what we call the Global Teacher. And here, it's the reverse of what you'd call Global Talent. And here you're able to develop your leadership while boosting your career opportunities through international teaching internships. Then we have the last one, which is the AIESEC member, which is the most popular. And under the AIESEC member, this is where we actually get young people to take part in our leadership development activities through being part of teams that are created in the different universities that we have. So for you as a member who has joined this organization, you're actually part of this particular program. So at the end of it all, we have one big question that we ask ourselves. And this is like our main driving factor. And the question is, can you imagine what happens to the world when we engage and develop every young person? So imagine how many young people we have across the globe. Currently, Uganda has the highest youth population. Now that's just Uganda alone. But imagine how many young people we have across the world, and if you can imagine of how many young people we have across the world, now do again imagine if we could engage and develop every young person. Now this is what keeps on driving us. And until we do that, then we are still stuck to our vision of striving to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. So not until we reach out to each and every young person in this world, and it's so many of us, then we shall not stop. We shall not stop on our driving our vision of peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. So basically, that's what AIESEC is, and I would like to show us one last video as we close.
It all started in 1948, after the Second World War, where a group of young people determined that the ability to understand each other's cultures was essential to prevent similar conflicts in the future, and hence achieving peace became a cornerstone of the organization. In today's context, peace doesn't just mean avoiding war, but can symbolize a world where conflict doesn't arise from cultural, religious, or other aspects of differences in humanity. Peace can also symbolize harmony with yourself and a world where everyone can work towards their own understanding of peace while respecting each other's views and striving to become the best version of themselves. Hence, AIESEC's why is peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. We place our confidence in youth as the key to unlock a better future because they have the passion and the entrepreneurial spirit needed to shape the world. They have the responsibility to improve tomorrow by shaping today. We believe that leadership is the fundamental solution for a better world, and it can be shaped in anyone, even you. AIESEC is a platform for young people to explore and develop their leadership potential. AIESEC's leadership development model seeks to prepare you to take a stand for what you care about cultural exchanges and by creating, we allow young people that allow